Hi everyone, Melissa here. In today's video, I have a really exciting topic, something I've touched on before in other videos, but I really wanted to revisit it because I feel like it's super important, foundational to conscious creating and manifesting. So today we're going to talk about how your perspective is your power. So before I get into it, just a reminder, we're still giving away a free course, How to Find Your Blocks to Manifest Anything Fast. The link for that will be in the description of this video. And I do still have a spring sale going on now through the end of April. 25% off coaching and courses. I have some awesome courses: manifesting an ideal relationship, health, fitness, money. I have a great money course, self-concept, a really awesome self-concept course. So if you're interested in self-study, or if you would like to have a one-on-one session with me, that's on sale. Check out the description of this video. Okay, your perception is your power. That is something that I remind myself of every single day because it truly is the foundation of manifesting. And once you really realize that, your manifestations just flow effortlessly. They're already flowing effortlessly, but your wanted, your desired manifestations are just always flowing. So I want you to start to think about reality a little bit differently. And the way I want you to think about reality, and when I say reality, I mean your physical 3D experience, is not only is creation finished, but everything exists all at once. Everything exists simultaneously. So it's not that when you're trying to manifest something, it's not that you're trying to create it. It's not that you're trying to attract it or pull it to you. It's that it literally already exists. You just are becoming aware of its existence, which then makes it visible to you in your physical world. So I'm going to say that again because it's kind of a big concept to grasp. So reality, in your reality, everything already exists simultaneously. Everything you could ever imagine, everything you desire already exists right now, simultaneously, all at once. The only reason you can't see it is because you're not perceiving it, because you're not focusing on it, because you're not aware of it, because you're not conscious of it, because you're aware that it's not true for you, because you're aware that it doesn't exist for you, because you're aware that it's not as you prefer. So whatever you are aware of is what you perceive in your physical world, is what becomes visible, is what is visible to you in your physical world. So your perception truly is your power, because if everything already exists, all you have to do is change your perception, change your perspective on that thing in order for it to be visible to you in your physical world, in order for you to experience it in your physical world. So it really highlights that the idea that you are God of your reality, because you are the only perceiver. You're the only one who can experience your reality. You're the only one who can judge it, who can question it, who can enjoy it, who can dislike it, who can have fun in it. You're the only one. So when you're worrying or questioning or doubting, you're only questioning yourself, you're only doubting yourself, you're only asking yourself, because you are the only judge, you're the only decider, you're the only perceiver. So there's never anything outside of you. Some people like to call it the universe, your higher self, your subconscious mind. Any one of those things, it all still means you. It's all you, because you're the only perceiver. So if all things exist all at once, then I just have to start perceiving that what I want is true in order for it to become visible. It is currently not visible because I currently perceive that it is not true. Therefore, it does not exist in my reality. So let's use some examples. And I actually have a video similar to this topic, which I will link to this one, a really awesome success story where somebody's, their point of view shaped their experience, which is true in every success story. But so let's use the example of being ghosted. Okay, the idea of being ghosted. So let's say you're talking to someone and all of a sudden they stop responding. Since you are the only perceiver in your reality and all things exist at once, there is the reality in which this person is ghosting you. Never going to talk to you again, just cutting you out. There's also the reality where they fell asleep and they just haven't messaged you because they're asleep. There's also the reality where their phone died, so they couldn't message you. There's also the reality where they read the message, saw it, and got distracted and forgot. There's also the reality where they saw the message and were preparing the perfect thing to write back to you, but got nervous about sending it and are trying to rewrite it, and so they're taking a pause before they respond to you. There's also the reality where they didn't get a chance to read the message yet because somebody else needs their help right now. I mean, there's infinite possibilities. Because they all exist. There's infinite ways that can play out. But the only way it will play out is how you perceive it, which is the meaning you choose to give that circumstance. So if you choose to perceive that as something negative and, oh, they didn't respond, so that must mean they don't want to talk to me, then your perception is your power. You are the only perceiver in your reality. So your experience moving forward with that person and communication is going to be, they're never going to talk to you again. They're never going to write you back because you have perceived, you've assumed, you've accepted the truth that you have been ghosted. But you can also choose to look at that. Okay, they didn't write me back. It's been a while. I'm not going to make that mean a bad thing. They just got busy. They'll write me when they have a chance. They always write me back. And then that will be your experience because you are the perceiver and all things exist at once. That will be the experience that pushes out for you in your physical world. So it's always your internal world externalizing. That's what your physical experience is. That's what your 3D physical reality experience is. It's your internal world externalized. It's your 4D into your 3D. It's your thoughts, it's your perceptions pushed out into the physical experience. Okay. So let's do another example. Let's say you are interviewing for a job and you had a really amazing interview and you're like, I'm amazing. I know I got this. I locked it down. I'm the best candidate. This is a great conversation. The whole team loves me. They're going to give me a job offer. But then you get an email that says, sorry, we're not moving forward with you for this position. In that moment, again, you are the only perceiver in your reality. What are you going to make that circumstance mean? This is why we say circumstances don't matter. The only thing that matters is the meaning you're giving the circumstance, which results in their reaction, right? They go hand in hand. But what are you going to make that mean? Are you going to choose to see it as a negative? You're going to choose to see it as a positive. On its surface, as it is, it's just a thing. It means nothing until you perceive it. So all things exist at once. I'm the only perceiver. What am I going to make this mean? Well, that sure looks like something I don't prefer. That sure looks like a no. I'm going to make that mean something negative. They didn't choose me. I didn't get what I want. I can't manifest. I'm doing something wrong. This isn't working. I'm never going to find a job. Okay. If you go down that path with your perception, those are the truths you are accepting about the circumstances, about the situation, about your job hunt. That's what you're going to experience in your physical world. But all things exist at once. Let's go through scenarios. Maybe they sent that email on mistake. Maybe somebody messed up. Maybe they sent that email and they realized they emailed the wrong person. Maybe they sent that email and they realized, oh my gosh, we do want this person. Maybe they sent that email and they realized, wow, this person is amazing. We actually have a better job for them with more pay. Which, by the way, I have a client that happened to. Multiple clients, actually, where they were told no by an employer and then they got emailed later on or called later on for another position or another interview. Or maybe that email never happened at all. Revise it. I mean, revision is changing your perception. That's all it is. Change your perception. So again, what are you going to make it mean? Whatever you make it mean however you perceive it, and however you continue to perceive it in every moment, that's what results in your 3D physical world experience. Your perception is your power. Really think about that. Really think about that. All things exist at once. Everything exists simultaneously. You can't see everything because you're not perceiving it all at the same time, because you're not believing in every possibility as true in that moment for you, because your focus, your attention, your awareness is on whatever you are believing is true, whatever meaning you have given to that thing, to that desire, to that circumstance. As soon as you change that, your physical world, the circumstance, the thing, the desire, it has to change. I go back to this quote all the time, but it's such a great way to say it. I'm pretty sure it was Wayne Dyer. When you change the things you think about, the things you think about change. You change the way you look at things, the things you're looking at change. So use your power wisely. Catch yourself when you are perceiving something you don't like, because that's your meaning. That's the meaning you're giving it. So if you don't like something, don't make it mean that anymore. And then the circumstance is going to change, or the person is going to change, or the whatever is the health situation is going to change, or the facts are going to change. Facts are never facts because they're always subjective to your perspective, to your perception. You know, what's Neville always coined, he always says the phrase, an assumption, if persisted in, hardens into fact. That's true. You create the facts with your assumptions. And you can assume something is fact and then change your assumption, and then it's not a fact anymore for you. Maybe it's a fact for somebody else because they believe in that truth. But if you change your mind about it, if you change your belief about it, it's not a fact for you anymore, right? So all things exist at once, simultaneously, and your perception is your power. So play around with that. I want to challenge you for the next week. When something comes up that's triggering or makes you feel bad, ask yourself, what am I perceiving as true right now? How am I perceiving this? Because I'm making it mean something I don't like. Either it's I'm deciding that somebody's treating me a certain way, or that I'm not good enough, or that I'm not appreciated, or that I don't have enough money, or that this person doesn't like me, or this person is rude, or I never get what I want, or life isn't fair, or whatever it is. This person's not going to respond to me, or this person's difficult, always difficult, never shows up, never does what they say they're going to do, or whatever it is. Dealing with this one company is always hard, or money doesn't grow on trees. Whatever your perception is, just ask yourself, when you're feeling bad about something, what am I perceiving right now? The answer to that is gold, because change your perception in that moment. Change your perception. Just be light about it. Don't take it personal. You know, if you react, it's okay, but it's what you do after the reaction. Don't own that negative perception. Don't own that perspective if you don't like it, because you're just going to perpetuate that narrative in your reality when there's infinite narratives you can choose from. Infinite. So I just want to challenge you this week. Anytime something triggers you, anytime you're feeling bad about something, anytime you're thinking, why isn't what I want showing up yet? What am I perceiving right now? Well, I'm perceiving that it's not showing up. Why am I thinking that? Well, because it seems like it's been a week and I've seen no movement. Well, why am I making it mean there's no movement? If there's infinite realities and they all exist right now and everything I want exists right now, why would I ever assume that it doesn't exist? I'm just creating that story for me. What if in all the choices I have, why am I going to assume the worst? You know, always assume the best you possibly can. It will only benefit you. It will only benefit you, because your perception is your power. You know, you are so powerful. We are truly limitless. We just think we have limits in certain areas, and it could be from things our parents taught us, just growing up, beliefs that we, you know, took on as our own, or maybe we've never experienced something in a certain area of our life, and so we just think it's not possible for us, or we just don't even know where to start with it. But always go back to your perspective. How can I perceive this in a better way? And a good blanket affirmation, if you can't figure out an answer to that, is, even though I can't see it right now, everything's always working out in my favor. Everything's a bridge of incidents to my manifestation unfolding. And I always see evidence that my thoughts create. I always see evidence that what I want is true. Okay? Use that. Use it to your advantage. Play around with it. Play around with it. Test it out. I'm going to change my perspective on this and see what happens. Test it out with something that you don't care about so much, just for fun. Like, let's say, you perceive, every time you go to the grocery store, the parking lot is always full. It's always hard to find a parking spot. Okay, I'm going to change my perspective on this. There's always parking at the grocery store. I always get parking wherever I go. And then just keep perceiving that, keep deciding that, keep affirming that, keep telling yourself that whenever you have an opportunity to park, and watch how it changes. Watch how magically all of a sudden now you'll be able to find parking everywhere you go, because you stopped perceiving that that's not true. You stop perceiving that what you don't like is true. So whenever you're questioning anything, am I telling myself something I don't like is true? I need to change my perspective on that. And then that will change my reality. That's how you manifest constantly what you prefer. That's how you see regular results quickly. Notice when you're telling yourself something you don't want is true and change your perspective on it. Even if it seems impossible in that moment, even if you don't believe it in that moment, even if you can't figure out any possible way that it could actually happen, don't worry, that's not your job. Doesn't matter. All you focus on is, what I want is true. I can perceive that. I can perceive that it's totally possible for this to happen for me right now, because there's only ever right now. That's the other piece to this. Not only does everything exist all at once simultaneously, but it's only ever now. Time is an illusion, because it would be really hard to make sense of this reality if there was no time, because everything would be coming at us all at once. It would be very chaotic. We would not be able to comprehend it. Even though everything truly does exist all at once, we need time to organize our experience in our mind. So, and it's also a human perception, right? Everybody believes there's years, and we get older every year, and hours and minutes and days. So it just helps us to understand and compartmentalize our reality. But everything exists right now. There's only ever the now moment, which is also why you're so powerful, because you can literally change your perspective right now, always, in all the right nows. I can change my mind right now. I can change my mind right now, right now, right now, right now. And the more you do that, you're only going to experience what you prefer in every now moment. So you just have to change your perspective. Change your perspective. No matter what happened in your perceived past, because that's just a memory you keep replaying. Your mind doesn't know the difference. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between what you think happened 10 years ago and what you think happened 5 minutes ago. Whatever you're continuing to tell yourself is true, your subconscious mind is just like, yes, 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 yes. It's just going to keep showing you that evidence back to you. That's its job. It's just going to keep showing you what your perception is over and over again. So change your perception. Revise something you didn't like in your past by changing your perception of it, changing what you're believing is true about it, change what you're remembering is true about it. And the circumstances will reflect that back to you in this now moment, because you're changing it in the now. You're changing it in the now. You're always changing it in the now. You're always perceiving in the now. Even if it seems like it was something that happened in the past, that's still a now. You're now. You're always now. So I hope this helped you. I just really felt like I wanted to talk about that, because we hear creation is finished, but what does that really mean? What does that really mean? And why does that mean I'm powerful? What does that mean to me? I don't care if creation is finished. I just want what I want. Well, the cool thing about creation is finished is what you want literally exists right now. Right now it exists. That reality exists right now. And it always exists. Excuse me. It always exists. You just haven't been perceiving it, so it hasn't been showing up in your physical experience. It hasn't been pushing out, right? Because your inner world pushes out into your outer world, okay? So use your power of perception. Use it. Decide to make things mean everything you want as much as possible. What am I making this mean? Am I perceiving this as a good thing? Am I perceiving this as a bad thing? Am I perceiving that this is not possible for me? Or am I perceiving that it's totally possible and it's happening right now? That's where you need to check in with yourself. That's how you get the quick results. Perception is power. Perception is power. Okay? I intend this video helped you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. And I'll see you in the next one.